All right, it's contest here. Come on, we're supposed to be having a good time now. All right.
Well, thank you everyone for coming today. Just to give you a quick rundown of events, we're going to open it up with an opening statement from Chris Wallace, followed by an opening statement from Coach Fizdale, and then we'll open it up for a Q&A. If you could, please just wait for the mic before you ask your questions and identify yourself. Then we'll do a photo op at the end. Go ahead, Chris.
Thanks, Jason. Good afternoon. Before we present the coach, I would like to introduce some special guests of his. Coming all the way from Inglewood, California, is the coach's mother, Ms. Helen Hamilton. Ms. Hamilton? Traveling from Miami are his lovely wife, Natasha Sin Fizdale, and his son, Kyle Jackson. Natasha and Kyle. And out of Chicago, his representative, Brett Just. David possesses an abundance of personal qualities and experiences which make him uniquely prepared to lead the Grizzlies into the future. He was a self-made player who, through his passion for the game and unwavering work ethic, became the floor-leading point guard for a nationally ranked high school team at Fremont High School in Los Angeles. In college, he became an all-West Coast Conference performer at the University of San Diego. Rather than prolong his playing days performing professionally abroad, David knew he wanted to coach the game. So he started out at the bottom of the NBA ladder as an intern under then video coordinator Eric Spoelstra in the Miami Heat's video room. None other than Pat Riley was the Heat's head coach at the time. Having the video room experience on a resume really resonates, as there's no better place to learn the NBA game than through working in a video room of a team. David apprenticed initially as a coach in the college ranks, first at his alma mater, the University of San Diego, and then Fresno State University. He broke into the NBA coaching ranks first at Golden State as an assistant before going to Atlanta, and eventually taking his talents to Miami, where he spent the past 8 seasons. His time at Miami was highlighted by 2 NBA championships and 4 trips to the finals overall. He also experienced a 2-season ramp-up prior to the arrival of LeBron James and Chris Bosh, as well as the past 2 seasons when the Heat has retooled after James's departure to Cleveland. So David has a unique perspective forged by a wide variety of basketball experiences and mentors. He has coached and overseen the player development of Hall of Famers, of off-the-bench rotation players, undrafted rookies, and college players you've probably never heard of. Because of his passion for the game and belief in developing the person, not just the player, David has connected and developed players from all talent levels. He worked closely with Eric Spoelstra to revamp the Heat offense after a loss to Dallas in the 2011 finals, which led to 2 straight championships. He is a well-respected tactician with expertise on both the offensive and defensive ends of the floor. He comes from an elite championship program in Miami, where he had major responsibilities in a variety of areas. David brings a championship vision with a detailed plan of how to get the Grizzlies to the next level. Most importantly, he is a high-character individual who will embrace the greater Memphis community. He is a uniquely qualified coach who can lead our team now, tomorrow, and to deep into the future. Without any further ado, I present to you the new head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies, David Fizdale.
Oh, I love it, Chris. I love it. And I want to get it out the way now. You know, I always told him I wanted to be Juwan Howard when I grew up. So Juwan, the first day I got here, they had an article in the paper and a picture of Juwan Howard named David Fizdale. So I get to be Juwan Howard. But thank you, Chris. I think you said a lot there. Good grief. I didn't know I had all of that, all of those accolades. But I want to start off first by just thanking the Memphis Grizzlies organization, Chris, Robert Parra. All of you guys have just been unbelievable through this process. I mean, it was just so well done, so professionally done, and I just want to thank you for how you handled the whole thing. I want to thank my family for making it out. Obviously, these 3 people in front have done more for me as a man and developing me as a man than anyone else in the world. And I just can't thank you enough, my mom, my son, my beautiful wife, Natasha. Thank you guys so much. I love you. A few more thank yous, obviously. Tim Gergovich is a guy who has mentored me forever, one of the greatest assistant coaches this league has ever seen, a guy I'm actually going to vote for the Hall of Fame at some point. I want to thank you, Coach Gerg, for everything you've done for me. Chris Grant, one of my USD alums, has been an unbelievable mentor for me, a person that's always been there for me. Really helped me through this process and making this run after this great job. My bosses, Mike Woodson, out with the Clippers, Eric Musselman, who's in Nevada, Reno, who you guys know already. You guys gave me opportunities that I don't know if I would have gotten with anybody else. You know, you guys didn't even interview me. And I am so indebted to you for what you've done for me and what you continue to do for me. And I just wanted to make sure I recognize those guys. And then finally, my Heat family. Words can't express what we went through over the last 8 years. Not just the guys that's still there, but guys that had to go on to different places, guys like Bird and Mario. The things I share with those guys, I'll remember for the rest of my life. I would not be here if it wasn't for you guys and all of your sacrifices, all of the days where we were in the trench and things were going poorly, but you stuck together and we stuck together and we picked each other up. I'll always remember that. And specifically, obviously, Spo, I think our relationship is well documented. He is a brother to me, a mentor. He has done more for me than anyone. I mean, he is just a spectacular coach and a better human being. And, you know, I love you. You're my guy. And Coach Riley, Andy Ellsberg, the coaching staff, obviously, all of you guys. Love you. I'll miss you. And when we play you, I'm coming after you. You already know that. You know it. And then, you know, my captains over there, I would just like to express, you know, by name to you guys. D. Wade, Chris Bosh, Udonis Haslam, first class, number one. You guys are how you've evolved as men and as players and how easy you made this process for me, the way you've evolved as leaders. I can't be more proud to say that I was a part of that, and you helped me evolve too. You made me a better coach. You made me a better man, a better father, a better husband. You guys have been great, great people in my lives, and I expect that to continue for the rest of my life. Now, those are my thank yous. If I missed anybody, I love you. I had to get that out the way because you don't get to this spot without a lot of help. So I want to make sure at least I told those people that. Now, I'm here to win. That's the best way I can put it. I didn't leave Miami and that beautiful beach and all that water and good stuff to come here to lose. I came here to win, and I came here to be a big part of this community, a big part of the people here. I'm going to be out and about, and I'm going to be involved in everything. My wife and I have already been house hunting because we want to get settled in and start getting to work. But the goal is to win a title, no doubt about it. And with the pieces that we have and the pieces that we're going to put together, with us working together in this collaboration, I see no reason why we won't have an opportunity to take that run. With that being said, I want to open it up for questions or whatever we want to do. Thank you.
Just raise your hand and we'll get a mic to you.
Lee Smith with the Tri-State Defender. Welcome to Memphis, Coach.
Thank you.
One of the things that this team has struggled with in the past is scoring, and especially as the rest of the league seems to have taken off scoring. How do you propose, having already revamped the Heat offense or been a part of that, what do we have to do here in order to kind of ramp up the offense?
Well, I think they already have some ingredients in place to have a running team, a team that can at least play with a higher pace. I don't envision this team as Golden State by any means from that standpoint of just getting up and down the court, launching a ton of threes and things like that. But when you have a team that has defensive habits like the Memphis Grizzlies already have, that's been built by all of the coaches that's come through here, and that kind of toughness and the ability to rebound the ball defensively like that, you put Tony Allen in that mix as a disruptive defender, Mike Conley as a steals guy, there's no reason we shouldn't be getting that ball off the glass or getting deflections and steals and getting up the court a lot faster. I'm going to space the floor a little differently. some things that we did in Miami that were useful and helpful. But at the end of the day, we got to make sure that our defense is turning our offense into creating offense for us.
Clay Bailey with the Associated Press over here.
Where you at?
Dave, right here,
Oh,
Dave.
there you go. All right.
What is it about this particular job versus any other that you may have had an opportunity to take before that made this attractive?
Well, Chris over here has got some history. And he just happened to work with some guys that I have a high level of respect for, as you can see by my thank yous. When this job opened up, I felt very comfortable knowing that, one, I was going to a place where there was some familiarity. The people that I work with hold Chris in high esteem and spoke very highly of him. Ed Stefanski, I knew people that knew Ed Stefanski and just rave about him as a human being and as a guy who's willing to work with you and help you as a coach along the way and involve you in the process. So that right there was really attractive to me. And it doesn't hurt that they have Mike Conley and Marc Gasol and Zach Randolph and Tony Allen. So you had winning ingredients already in place. I think the thing I was most trying to avoid was a total rebuild. I want to win, and I want to win now. So I wanted to go somewhere where that vision was in place and that they were open to that and willing to work with a coach who was had that as a vision. And I can't tell you enough how the process went. It was like we were finishing each other's sentences, and it was just it was an awesome experience. So it just once I got through with the interview, I was sure of it that this is where I wanted to start my head coaching career.
Rob Fisher, Sports 56. Chris, you mentioned when this process began about having an open mind, and you just felt like talking to candidates, there'd be a moment where you just knew that this was the guy that you wanted to lead the organization going forward. What was that moment for you?
When we met him here in Memphis. He was spectacular in the interview. Obviously, interview doesn't tell you everything about an individual. That plus the work we did and the research, it came up so strong that he was the obvious choice.
Ron, go ahead.
Coach Fizz, Ron Tillery, Commercial Appeal.
Okay.
No matter who you talk to, people have a lot of positive things to say about your development as a coach. What would you say about your growth as it relates to having the confidence to become a first-time head coach?
Well, when you work with the kind of people I've worked with and at the level that I've been able to coach and learn and study and lose and, make some mistakes and come back again. And when you're in that kind of environment where they just let you grow, and coaches are coaching players, players are coaching coaches. It's going back and forth. It was really just an incredible environment to grow in. And I think once I hit a certain point, the itch started getting there, and I was just kind of waiting for the right opportunity to hit. A few years ago when we won a couple of titles, I didn't have that itch. I really wanted to see that team through. Because how many opportunities do you have to take a run at multiple titles? I don't care what spot you're in. If you're the head coach or the assistant coach or the ball boy, if you want to be involved in that, you want to be a part of that kind of legacy. And so I wasn't jumping ship too early on that one. I wanted to see how many rings I could rack up and how many situations I can be in. And I think about it after some of the interviews where I didn't think was right for me. I think about some of the experiences I had after that. I ended up winning another ring. I went to another title run. We coached multiple game sevens. I just coached through injury. It was just a lot of stuff that I got to experience as a top assistant next to Spo that I wouldn't have gotten if I'd have jumped right into this. So, I feel very confident that I'm ready for this. And for whatever I'm weak at, I'm going to hire guys that are strong at it that can help me because I'm willing to be uncomfortable and I'm willing to grow and listen. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to attack this job.
Can I follow up and ask you, do you know who you're going to put in?
I'm going to hold that for now, and it's a process that we're going through to build a championship staff. But we're going to be very patient and methodical, and we're going to work closely together on this because I really want input so that we all feel good about this.
Hey, Coach, in the center.
Hi, Peter.
Hey, how are you? You have helped, you and Coach Spoelstra and the staff have helped not only the young players, but the veteran players kind of develop different facets of their game, like Chris Bosh's three-point shooting. With the veteran group here, do you envision new facets of their games, and what do you see for them?
Well, I don't want to expose too much information about what I'm going to try to do with these guys, but absolutely. I think as soon as you think a guy can't get any better, then you should move on from that guy. And I just don't see anybody on our roster that way. I think Mark can get better in some areas and can be used in some ways that can really help our team. Same with Zach. I really want to utilize Tony Allen in some dynamic ways. I see a grown-up, experienced championship Justice Winslow right there, and I just think about what Justice did for us in Miami as a 19-year-old, but this guy is seasoned and hungry, and I can just see ways to use him to really help our team. And then obviously Mike Conley, I'm going to put in so many dynamic situations to utilize his skill set and put him in a position to really have an incredible year.
Hey, David. Peter Fleischer, Fox 13 Memphis. Welcome to town. I guess you talk pretty confidently about Mike Conley being a part of this team in the future. What is your confidence level like that he'll be back in Memphis? And what were your impressions of Mike before you took this job?
I'll start with my impressions of Mike. I would say the point guard position has changed a lot in the NBA, and I would say he is one of the best, if there's any left, of just the pure point guard. The guy that understands when a guy needs a shot, a guy that understands when to put his foot on the gas, a guy that understands when to lead, when to let someone else lead, a guy that knows when to take the shot, and a guy that defends his position at a high level. He's a two-way player. And so preparing for him was a nightmare. And now that I have him, and some of the things I want to do with him, now that I have him, I'm just excited to be able to coach a guy like that in the future.
Don, go ahead, right here.
Yeah, David, Don Wade, Memphis Daily News. I just wondered, what were some of the impressions you took away from your meeting with Robert Pera?
Fantastic meeting. We speak the same language. He is about culture. He's about leadership. He's about allowing people to do their work, hiring talent and allowing them to do their work. Growth mindset, big time. Like, he's so open-minded to stuff and innovative. And he's a basketball junkie, and I just love that. It's just, ironically, he happened to be playing ball in San Jose when the day I came up there, and he was playing with an old high school legend from L.A. that I grew up with, Terry Cannon, and it was like, this is meant to be. I'm like, that's my guy from back in the day. You're playing ball with him, and we're sitting here having this conversation so freely, and it was just a fantastic conversation, and I think that he's going to be an owner that I really enjoy working for.
Jeff Calkins from the Commercial Appeal. Welcome to town.
All right.
You didn't quite answer the Mike Conley, how confident are you? You're excited to have him. How confident are you that you're going to keep him? And have you reached out?
Chris, can you step in on this?
And have you reached out? And have you reached out to him yet? So that's question one.
Well, I can answer that part of it, right? Right. Yes, I spoke to Mike Conley, and we had a fantastic conversation, a very energized, open conversation, and an honest conversation. And he's gonna get sick of me because I'm gonna follow him. I'm gonna just follow him everywhere he goes, and I'm gonna hound him and teach him and collaborate with him and make him feel a part of this thing in a way that only a guy like D Wade can feel in Miami. That's my approach with him. I see him being a big part of this thing for a long time. So. Yeah, I'm gonna keep dodging that other question and let him deal with that. But
we're allowed to say, Jeff. Yeah. We obviously want to resign him and going to recruit him vigorously.
There are some people who think that look at the roster and say they've had 6 great years. Mm-hmm. The trajectory here is not necessarily up. Were you worried about taking on a team that is accomplished and that some think is headed, in the aging direction rather than the upward direction?
No, because again, I want to win now. And it's very hard to win with kids, To win at the highest levels, you got to have a mix of both. And so they got great veteran experience of guys that's right in that wheelhouse of going after it. And that's what made it attractive to me, actually, was those guys. And the fact that, you know, what we talked about earlier, I don't believe in putting a ceiling on a guy. I think that they can get better at any age, whether it's shooting, whether it's some kind of skill, whether it's how they view the game, whether it's, you know, physically. You know, I think with the information that we have now about sports science and diet and all of these things, you know, guys can go to another level. I think you saw, I keep bringing up D-Wade because he's my example. I mean, look at the year this guy had with the commitment to those areas. I mean, he was phenomenal all the way through 2 Game 7s. And, I mean, how old is D-Wade now? I mean, he's 34, 35 years old. So at the 2 guard, that's unheard of. So I want to bring that to these guys and you know, collaborate with them in these areas. So, I mean, that's where it's at. And then I also wanted to tell you, you know, we're going to go Fizz with 2 Z's and Grizz with 2 Z's. All right? So that's what it's going to be. All right?
Coach Lee Smith with the Tri-State Defender again.
Okay.
One of the things that helped fans fall in love with this team here over the past 5 or 6 years is what's called here locally grit and grind.
Oh, yeah.
Culture of, you know, hard work, put on your hard hat, blue-collar type of team.
Yeah.
How do you take that, marry it with the championship culture that you come from, and create a grit and grind championship culture here in Memphis?
I know people don't want to view those Miami teams that way, but that's what we were. That was our motto, was grind them. I mean, right now I'm sure my guys back there are laughing right now because I'm saying this, but, you know, the fact that every coach here has sustained that identity, you know, I think it's a testament to actually the community and everybody here. It's just a reflection of the people here. So I'm not going to lose that. I'm bringing that with me. Defensive-minded, tough. I mean, you think about Pat Riley and what he stood for. I mean, that's what it was. You know, just the league rules now don't allow you to do some of the stuff his teams were doing out there. But, you know, I want to sustain that. Our defensive system will definitely be a physical one. Obviously, I have some physical guys that can post the basketball and beat you up a little bit. And, you know, I got some guys that are just lockdown defenders on the perimeter. So, yeah, we're going to still grind teams. And hopefully we can get to a point where we can take it even to another level because our offense is putting pressure on them as well.
Time for a few more. Carrie?
Coach Carrie Anderson with WMC Memphis here, Channel 5. Welcome.
Thank you.
You mentioned you had talked to Mike Conley. Have you spoken with any other members of the team, and what was the conversation?
I only have
there?
like 2 guys left. I've been trying to reach out to everybody, but I got Zach, I got Mark, Tony, all of our young guys. I still just have a couple more of the veteran guys that I have to make sure I get in touch with. But all of those conversations were just great. I mean, and it's new. I mean, come on, it's always exciting in the beginning. They're not going to like me at some point. I'm already ready for that. I get it. You know, because I'm going to have to be that guy. But right now, I think our conversations have been very open and honest and energized. That's the best way I can put it. And, you know, obviously I want to get their take on everything and how they look at the season coming up. And I want to give them a real defined idea of how I want to do things. But it's also going to be a collaboration, especially with the 4 guys, our legacy guys, our backbone guys. They have to be, you know, the front runners in this deal. And so I really have to have a collaboration with them. And like I said, the conversations went fantastic, and I plan on flying to see every one of them in person, you know, because I want to be on their home turf, in their home with their families, because obviously I'm going to try to create as close to a family environment and a business place as I can.
Peter?
Hey, Coach, we saw you this morning in the pre-draft workout. I guess it's a busy couple months here with the draft and then the summer league and all that.
Yeah.
How do you kind of balance being involved with the team and going to see guys? And I guess what do you envision these next few months being like before camp starts?
Chaotic is the best way I could describe it. But these guys have been great. The support staff here has been unbelievable. They're keeping me organized. They're keeping me moving from spot to spot. But, you know, I'm ready for a busy summer. You know, I'm okay with doing the draft and flying to see guys, you know. And then obviously I'm going to be calling on our guys to get back here early and get into the gym and start playing some pickup and connecting and things like that. So I would say, that last month before the season is when I'll hunker down and really get into my groove here in Memphis. But otherwise, I'll probably be on the move most of the time.
Last question here, Peter, and then we'll do the photo op.
Okay.
Coach, you've alluded to your relationships with D. Wade and Chris Bosh and LeBron in the past, and
Absolutely.
your captains, Udonis Haslam, all the guys there. And it's not often that you see a guy go from the video room like you and Eric Spoelstra and develop these kinds of deep relationships with your players. How have you been able to do that? What's the key to that? And then can you continue that as a head coach as opposed to as an assistant?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're not going to be best friends with every guy. I mean, it's just how it is. Personalities are different. Relationships are different. You're going to coach every guy, to the best you can. You're going to serve them. I want to really be there to serve these guys and be there for them. But at the end of the day, it's going to be certain guys you just connect to. And those will be the guys that you have those lifelong relationships with. But my door will always be open to those guys. And I think that's what Spo built out in Miami. I mean, he's got some deep relationships there with those guys. And it's not every guy. Some guys go on with their lives, and you might talk to them once every 2 years. But there's other guys that you're seeing every day, and you know their kids, and you know what's going on with their wives and all of that stuff. So I'm just hoping that, I think the culture, a winning culture will help that, obviously, if you're winning. But I also think a culture of service. And when they see that I really care about them as people and as players, then I think that's where you build those deep ties.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.